Truma, makers of the Combi Heater and iNet system, are proud to sponsor Practical Motorhome TV.
Welcome to Practical Motorhome TV, your one-stop shop for everything motor caravan. Whether it's van and site reviews or friendly independent technical advice, you've come to the right place. Well, it's been a really busy summer with all the launches at home and abroad. So what's coming up on this week's show? I check out the all-new family-friendly Escape 685 by Swift. Plus, we pay a visit to Stroud Hill Park campsite in Cambridgeshire. But first, I travel to Somerset to take a look at a new model from the exciting Bailey Autograph range. Bailey's Approach Autograph range was a big hit when it launched in 2013. It went on to account for around 75% of the Bristol-based manufacturer's total output of motorhomes. That's pretty good by anyone's book. And now there's been a revision to this super popular range. 6 new models, all based on the Peugeot Boxer with Euro 6 engines, and a new nomenclature system too. So rather than having Bailey Approach Autograph, it's now just Bailey Autograph. And instead of having a number like 740, you have 75/2. This means the length of the vehicle and the amount of travel seats. So let's have a look at what these new features are on this exciting new range. The first thing you notice about the new Bailey Autograph range is this exciting new look. It's really toned down from the other one. Instead of having the black cab, now we have white. This obviously goes very well with the white sidewalls. And look at that Bailey logo. It's actually been shrunk in the wash. So instead of being one of the centerpieces of the side, it's now much more subtle and well integrated into the decals on the sidewall. Move to the back panel and you can see something truly new and innovative. Look at these light pillars, these vertical automotive road lights. Very exciting indeed, a very bold look and one that's extremely influenced by continental manufacturers. Another great thing to notice is the Fiamma awning, now factory fitted and all the way down one side of the vehicle. Now our test van is one of the early prototypes. The production versions will have a cap at the end to streamline that look even further. There's also a reversing camera on the back, which is part of the new media pack, which we'll get onto later. Now, hiding under the bonnet on these new Peugeot cabs is a brand new engine, a 2-litre unit producing 160 bhp, and it meets the latest Euro 6 emissions standards. It does that by using a diesel exhaust fluid, that's AdBlue to you and me, which is held in a tank on the vehicle, so there is a small weight penalty. But hey, what's a weight penalty when you can save the planet? And I'd imagine everyone queuing up to buy one of these vans, that would be their #1 reason. So just before we get inside to have a look at the vehicle, and I really can't wait to, let's have a look at a couple of the new exterior fixtures and fittings, starting with this locker that gives you access to the underbed area. Check out this, not 1 but 2 seals, very good indeed. And these new locks, the kind of things you wouldn't find out of place on a German A-Class. Slightly higher up, squarer windows, replacing the bubble variety that was used in the previous iteration. Very good indeed. And a new high security door lock for the habitation door. And notice also this new skirts arrangement. It makes the van sit much lower down, certainly to the eye, but that's quite true because it's based on the ultra-low Alco AMC chassis for superior road holding. Now, the first thing that really strikes you when getting in this van is this massive feeling of space. It's absolutely enormous. Just look at it from one side to the other. So much space, you'd swing the proverbial cat, in fact a whole cattery. Now, these overhead lockers are a brand new design. The profile works really nicely with the bulkhead, and these seat backs really look the part too. And if you're wondering about the soft furnishing scheme, it's called Barclay. There is an alternative one called Grosvenor. So it's nice to know Bailey is really emphasising its upmarket credentials. And there's more. There's a leather option with both, so there is a choice of 4 soft furnishing scheme in this van. Now, anyone familiar with touring caravans will recognise this layout is the parallel lounge configuration. In fact, it's what the 75/2 refers to. 75 means 7.5 metres long, /2 means 2 belted travel seats, and those are the ones in the cab. Now if you really like this layout but you don't want parallel seating and you'd rather have 2 extra travel seats so you can take family members away with you, then the 75/4 would be the way to go. That puts a half dinette in this space with those 2 travel seats so everyone can travel in safety and comfort. And what both these layouts share is an absolutely phenomenal amount of natural light entering the vehicle. Just look at this massive roof light up above, the 2 side windows and the skylight over the cab, which is 25% bigger than the version which it replaces. There's so much room in the kitchen, a real feeling of width across the middle of the van. Indeed, if the cook is working here, then the person trying to get round them to get to the loo or to the French bed, they won't even have to breathe in. There's just so much space in which to pass. Equipment wise in the kitchen, you really don't go wanting for much at all. You have dual fuel burners, so electric to back up the gas just in case the gas runs out. Underneath that, a combination oven and grill. Some people like separate, but Bailey are thinking, no, we're going to stick it all in one, and who are we to argue? Now the sink, if I'm honest, is probably the only area of the kitchen I think that could benefit from a little bit more aesthetic refinement. It does look a little bit plonked in there. Okay, you've got the smart tap and everything else, but maybe just a little bit more work. And it's an interesting shape. There doesn't really seem to be any reason why they couldn't have made it come a little bit further forward. Anyway, I digress. Moving up to the overhead locker, an all-in-one unit. You just push and up it goes on these really impressive gas struts. And to close, the same action in reverse. Very good. A few other things of note in the kitchen include these plug sockets rotated through 90 degrees so you won't get cable foul, and also a touch strip operated task light for illuminating proceedings for cooks. Very good indeed. It's worth also noting that the roller blind in the kitchen has a wipe-free material surface, so if you do get any food spills on, they'll come off with a damp cloth. Under the worktop you have drawers aplenty, 1, 2, 3, 4, and they're soft closing. Very nice. Bailey has done a great job of making this corner washroom feel much bigger than it really is, and they've done this by using plenty of white. There's also some very pleasing design touches like a very fetching hand basin and also some ambient lighting behind the half-length mirror. Move into the shower compartment at the far end, protected by a bifold shower door, and you'll find a retractable clothesline. Now that's very clever because there's an Aldi radiator in the washroom, so those two things together mean you'll be able to dry your togs and towels in no time at all. Now the French bed layout is popular for a variety of reasons, mainly because it's at one end of the van. You can section yourself off from everybody else, and to do this you have a privacy curtain that pulls across on this track. Now this mattress is super comfortable and is well integrated with the overall feel of the bedroom. Look at the way the headboard and the scatter cushions match, and the eagle-eyed viewers will notice that there are recharging options above the bed too. We have a 230-volt socket on one side and a USB socket on the other side. And fans of the Magic Lantern, don't worry at all. There are fixing points for a television at the end of the wardrobe. All good. Now let's also remember that a fixed bed offers fantastic storage capabilities. Access from inside the vehicle by pulling up here, and it raises on a strut to reveal 2 rather large storage compartments. As we discovered earlier, one of these is loadable from outside the vehicle. Very good indeed. And this section here is also sectioned off. That's the Aldi boiler at the back in case you're wondering, but you can still get some of your touring essentials in this space right here. And don't forget, there is an extra 2 berths up front in the lounge. So if you have friends to stay over on site, you've got somewhere to put them. It makes up very easy using this new system that Bailey have rolled out from their touring caravans. It's called Dream Sleep and it's super comfortable. The Bailey Autograph 75-2 is based on a 3,500 kilograms chassis, so everyone in the family can drive it. And as we recall, the 75 in the title refers to the body length of the vehicle, 7.5 meters in this case, so you'll need a reasonable driveway on which to park it. Now, the Bailey Approach Autograph 740 was the biggest seller in the range, and this, its successor, I would expect to do just as well. Having spent some time in it, I can think of no reason why it wouldn't. The space inside is colossal, and the specification and all the design tweaks and equipment tweaks make it very desirable indeed. Now, we don't know what the prices are going to be because Bailey hasn't released them yet, but obviously we'll report back in due course. One thing's for certain though, if I was Bailey's production manager, I'd already be busy booking the overtime slots to build this and all the other vans in the range to cope with the likely demand. Those over the age of 18 are sure to love their stay at the adults-only Stroud Hill Park, not least for the a la carte barnside restaurant, where you'll be able to enjoy great food and drink. During your visit to the park, you can stock up with essentials at the convenient shop, use the award-winning washrooms, and take advantage of the tennis court and fishing lake. There's an 18-hole golf course and a 10-pin bowling alley close by too. Stroud Hill Park has 60 pitches, 44 hard-standing and 16 grass pitches, all with 16-amp electric hookup, freshwater connection and grey water disposal. Pitches measure approximately 8 metres by 8 metres, but larger motorhomes can also be accommodated. One-night bookings are accepted and free Wi-Fi is available on most pitches. Naturally sheltered by ancient bluebell woodland, the site is located on the eastern side of a family farm. The farm itself is enrolled in a DEFRA conservation project, so there's lots of flora and fauna to spot during your stay. Indeed, the RSPB recently recorded 50 species of birdlife at Stroud Hill Park, so it's an ideal venue for twitchers. And because of ground nesting birds, only well-behaved dogs are welcome at Stroud Hill Park. The 3-acre coarse fishing lake on site contains large specimen carp up to £20, plus rudd, roach, tench and bream. Day tickets cost just £5 and must be purchased from site reception. Visitors to Stroud Hill Park have praised the layout of the site, plus the great amenities, including private shower rooms, which are kept very clean. The facilities building, a green oak frame structure, comes in for particular appreciation and even has an a la carte restaurant attached to it. But it's not just the site that visitors appreciate. The helpful and friendly staff at Stroud Hill Park are regularly commented on, and they certainly put a lot of time and effort into ensuring the site is clean and well kept.
It's our first time here. It's a beautiful place. We picked it out the Caravan magazine books that you read and booked it online. Beautiful place, lovely, peaceful, quiet. It's one of the quietest we've been to. The owners, the wardens, lovely, go out their way to help you. And neighbours, great. You know, and the dog walk areas, the sightseeing, Ely, St Ives, anyway, Huntington, all close by, and it's lovely.
This is our 5th time at Pidley, Cambridgeshire. We like it because it's very quiet, and the dog, we have obviously 2 dogs, and it's nice just to slip out of the gateway onto a field where you can take the dogs for a walk. And we like the freedom of caravanning because you can turn up where you like, on a site obviously, but we just enjoy doing that. So that makes it easy as well with the dogs, because then we haven't got to put them in kennels, so it's nice to be able to take them with us. Tomorrow we're going into St Ives to have a look around there. They're quite nice, quaint little towns and nice little villages, and mostly you've got everything there you need. We have a big supermarket. There's also places that you can eat if you wish to, or also, as we've done today, we brought some fish and chips home and had for lunch, which was very nice.
A peaceful site, Stroud Hill Park is a real haven in the middle of Cambridgeshire. A truly great place to get away from it all. Swift Group's Escape range is the company's biggest seller, and for good reason. For 7 seasons now, it's been wowing buyers with a tempting mix of affordability, generous equipment levels, and just good old-fashioned design and build flair. Indeed, it regularly bothers the upper reaches of the Practical Motorhome Owner's Satisfaction Awards, scooping a hatful of gold awards down the years. So the company that doesn't innovate and just chooses to stand still, everything will be the same in the future. You can just keep on selling the same product, right? No, not at all. Swift has really changed the range for 2017. The first thing you'll notice is there are no Luton overcabs anymore. Everything is low profile, and there are 6 brand new models, including this super exciting 685. Now, the first thing to mention about this new range, of course, is that it's all based on the latest version of the Fiat Ducato with the Euro 6 engine. All very good. Another thing is that it's on the low frame Ducato chassis, so much easier to get in and out of the vehicle. And just look at this rear panel, really smart all-in-one GRP moulding. It's really got the wow factor. The 685 is a 6-berth with 5 belted travel seats, and as you can see, one of them is rearwards facing. Very distinctive. Now, this lounge also makes into 2 double beds, one of them by rearranging all the seating down here, and also up above a manually operated drop-down bed with another spacious double with a duvet mattress. Now, manual, I hear you cry. Why would you want one of those? Surely electric is the best way to go. Well, not necessarily. If you're camping off-grid or if your leisure battery isn't topped up enough, then a drop-down bed using electricity is going to be problematic. Swift has recognised this and is moving towards fitting all its drop-down beds with the mechanical option, i.e. that means using a bit of elbow grease, but it really isn't difficult at all, and there's plenty of headroom. Some other interesting styling cues in the new Escape are the fact that there are no curtains. Instead, Swift has opted for these rather natty surrounds around the windows and blinds. Very continental, and there's more of that towards the back of the van. Now, our European friends, and we are going to remain friends despite Brexit. Anyway, they love an L-shaped kitchen, but we can do them really well in Britain too. Check this one out. 3 gas burners atop a combination oven and grill. Next to that, a round sink atop a rather large storage area. There's absolutely masses of space down there. You also get a microwave oven and a tall, skinny fridge, which is very good in a space-saving situation. Now, also, you have a very good V working station here, so it's all very ergonomic. And while we're talking about ergonomics, there's the Swift Command control panel, which puts all the services into one easy to navigate place. And what's more, you can control it using an app on your smartphone or tablet. How cutting edge is that? And talking about edges, how often do you see this kind of configuration in an entry-level van? It's all part of an attention to detail that has seen Swift rip up the rulebook from last year's van and try something completely different. Just look at these 2-tone lockers, these chrome surrounds for the switches, a really great attention to detail there. But there's one other thing that I really like about this particular layout, and obviously it is the U-shaped lounge at the back. Just check this out with the triple aspect windows, the roof light up above, and the U-shaped seating, all very sociable to take advantage of the consistently excellent weather that we enjoy in the UK. And at night times, it all converts into a super comfortable double bed. And for snack and meal times, you can add an occasional table here in the rear lounge just by retrieving the table leg from the floating wardrobe plus the tabletop. And it all goes on quite easily just by popping on like that. And hey presto, you have a table. Now, if you don't want to use the table, obviously just pop it back in the floating wardrobe, and underneath that you can convert one of the corner seat cushions into a handy coffee table. An all-in-one washroom is preferred for this particular van. You do, however, get a brand new vanity unit and sink, and don't forget the Eco Camel showerhead. The cabs get the very latest version of Fiat's Ducato engine. It's a Euro 6 unit which Fiat has engineered with the exhaust gas recirculation technology rather than diesel exhaust fluid. That's AdBlue to you and me. It means you don't have to carry a tank that eats into your overall weight, which will be full of AdBlue. Other features of note in the cab include concertina blinds for the windscreens and silver screens for the side windows. And fitted as part of the comfort pack, which also gives you reversing sensors, you get this rather fetching over cab skylight. The Swift Escape 685 is 6.93 metres long and has an MTPLM of 3,500 kilograms, so anyone can drive it on a standard car licence. It also has a very respectable payload of 600 kilograms. Now, price information has yet to be released, but we understand that there will be a premium in the region of £2,000 over last year's models. That's no bad thing when you consider that you get the very latest version of Fiat's Ducato engine, which has the Euro 6 emissions standard. Now, I haven't seen the rest of the new models in this lineup, but if they're as good as the 685, then I'm sure I'll be very impressed, and that Swift will continue to have a great success with this range, which is forecast to account for 44% of its total motorhome production. And one thing's for sure, you'll have some pretty great escapes in Swift's most popular motorhome range.
That's fascinating. There's some really interesting stuff on TV these days. But for a lot of people, the whole ethos of going away in a motorhome or camper van is about getting away from it all, and that includes the TV. But sometimes it's a cold, wet, miserable, rainy day, or if you're away on an extended tour, it can be useful to have the TV to keep up with what's going on in the world, or just a bit of light entertainment when there's nothing better to do. There are several ways of getting TV in your motorhome. You could use an ordinary terrestrial TV and terrestrial aerial. Problem with terrestrial TV is dotted around the country are all the different transmitters, and they're all on different frequencies. So you're continually having to retune your TV when you move to a new destination. Satellite TV is a much better option because once it's tuned in, that's it. There's no retuning wherever you go. Plus, with satellite TV, you can get some UK TV on the continent. How much you can get will depend on where you're going and how big your satellite dish is. Small dishes, more restricted range. The bigger dishes, up to about 85 centimetres in size, will get you UK TV channels over most of Belgium, Holland, a large part of France, down to southern France, maybe even into northern Spain. But these days you won't get the UK TV channels down in Spain, simply because a year or so back the TV companies reduced the footprint of the satellites. So it's not quite as broad as it used to be, but it's still a useful feature. There's a variety of equipment available for getting satellite TV, various size dishes from small manual dishes all the way up to big 85 centimetre roof-mounted automatic dishes. Satellite receivers, you can use a small compact unit like this. Some TVs, like this one, even have a satellite receiver built in. This one's got a free-to-air receiver built in, so again, just like that box, this will work with any satellite in the sky. Let's go outside and have a look at some of the dishes. So right here we have a typical manual dish, 40 centimetre diameter. Doesn't have to be mounted on anything fancy, just a cheap tripod will do, as long as it's sturdy and stable. You have to align this to the satellite yourself. That's why it's called a manual dish. So to do this, we use a signal meter, which will help us to locate the satellite. So we connect that on there, switch that on, and then as we turn this, it will give us a signal and tell us if we're pointing at the right satellite. Then we can take this off and connect the coax from the dish to the satellite receiver, and we'll be watching our TV. Another option is the automatic roof-mounted dish, such as we've got on the van here. This system is fully automatic. You just switch it on, the dish will open up and find the satellite, lock on, and all you've got to do is pour yourself a G&T and get settled to watch your TV. So that's the basics of what satellite can do for you for watching TV. How much are we talking? A manual system such as this, with the receiver and the signal meter, you're looking at a couple of £100. A fully automatic system starts at around about £1,000 and will go all the way up to several thousand depending on the features and the size of the dish that you go for. I hope you found this helpful, and I'll see you next time.
Sadly, that's all we've got time for on this week's show. Next time we'll be looking at the super affordable Autocruise Select 144, visiting some top sites and offering some tech tips from Diamond Dave. In the meantime, you can keep in touch with us via Facebook, Twitter or our website. Until next time then, tour safe and take care.
Truma, makers of the combi heater and iNet system, are proud to sponsor Practical Motorhome TV.